My name is LaTricia Morris. I am a mother of two amazing children in Manheim Township School District. One of the things that has continued to concern me with where things stand right now is I feel that things are heavily slanted on one side and that we're seeing things that are being made more from political posture and not really taking into account the views of the people of Manheim Township. I feel like there are a lot of parents that are not being heard and are even afraid to be heard because the way the discussions have carried forth have not been conducive to a strong dialogue, but have become so contentious and so adversarial. And I think at the end of the day, we as parents, we all genuinely love our kids. We want to see the best for them. We have to understand and appreciate that we need to come to the discussions with a sense of humility and appreciate there are people that come with value from different perspectives. Unfortunately, where things stand right now, we're not seeing as many of the voices being heard from the other side of the equation, right? Some from people who maybe have a more conservative approach and would think of things a little bit differently. I would like to see the votes go in such a way as to even that playing field out so we can all come to the table and have an intelligent discussion that's going to result in a better future for our kids. Because I think at the end of the day, it's not about one person or one side winning over the other. It's about our kids winning, and that's what needs to happen. I believe there were a lot of other measures that could have been discussed, and I personally reached out to the school board to make sure they understand that me as a parent, I personally didn't appreciate the approach that was taken. I myself actually contacted the school for 2 months leading up to the start of the school year to make sure that I was informed as a parent who has kids in these schools, and I absolutely love our schools. I really was not happy about that decision where it was a very last minute decision made that didn't allow for really any input. So as we rolled into the school year, there were a lot of shifts that happened rather rapidly when it come to how we were electing to approach COVID-19 and mitigation measures. There was a very quick decision that happened where we went from me being told as a parent for months leading up to that it was going to be optional for my kids to wear them to saying no, they absolutely had to wear them. And while I can absolutely appreciate that there are people that feel comfortable with them and feel like that's the best measure to be taken, I feel like it doesn't appropriately take into account the people that genuinely are uncomfortable with wearing them and some of the other issues that surround it. We have to understand that it's not a black and white issue. And right now there are many different things that are challenges for our kids, not just COVID, but so many social factors, relational factors. They have come up against so much, and I feel like their voices need to be heard. Yes, there are people that are absolutely for the masks and for taking, one set of measures to, prevent or mitigate the spread of any disease. But at the same time, there are people that also differ from that, and they're not coming from an uneducated position. They're actually coming from a highly educated position. They maybe just take different viewpoints on it. The fact of the matter is we need to be able to come to the discussion and find a remedy that's going to actually work for our children and not create so many other problems that we can't even begin to calculate. As I saw it, I felt like the school board, I would like to say that they heard the parents. I know several of them actually told me, how much they appreciated the opinions of the community and how intelligent our community is, how well educated our community is. Unfortunately, the votes as they came back did not reflect that. I felt like they pretty much had the minds made up before they ever came back to the table, maybe even before they sat down to listen to the discussion that was being had, which is obviously not a good approach for any of us. We need to make sure that we step to those conversations with an open mind and even being willing to have our position challenged that sometimes may put us in a position to make a different decision than we stepped to the table with. But that's incredibly important, and I think that was something that was really missed in how the discussions happened and the decisions were made at the start of the school year when it came to COVID. So one of the things that has me a bit concerned with how the matter of COVID was approached is not just the decision that was rendered on the other side of that, but how the decision was rendered. And I think that's very important for us to take into consideration as we move forward. You know, when we look at how the votes were cast, where it was pretty much straight down party line and in such a way that was not really congruent with all of the voices that, you know, that were brought into the mix, people who spoke up in the, you know, from the township, that obviously gives me room to have great concern about any other decision that's going to come from a board where people are making decisions straight on party line and not really hearing either the data or the arguments that are being presented in more of an unbiased way, where we're trying to lend genuine consideration to the decisions that are being made, as opposed to coming to the table trying to pick a side and just be right. I'm absolutely excited about the opportunity to vote for the Republican Party as we come into this November 2nd election. I'm excited about us having the opportunity for our voices to be heard, for being able to step into the discussion and not be canceled because maybe our opinions differ a little bit from, from maybe somebody that's on the other side of the table. I'm excited about the opportunity for us to, have a more balanced approach when we come to the discussions relating to our kids and the opportunities that are present for our kids to actually win on the other side of us voting and letting their voices be heard through this election. I am LaTricia Morris, mother of 2 amazing children, and I want you to vote Republican Party on November 2nd. See you there.